Hi everyone, I'm Laura. I'm going to show you how to crochet this bow tie for your dog or cat. So if you've never crocheted before, I'd recommend you have a look at my video called Crochet for Beginners. And if you'd like the written pattern, it's on my website and I'll leave the link in the description. So you're going to need double knit yarn in any colour that you choose. I chose green. And you're going to need a 3mm crochet hook, a yarn needle, and some scissors. So we're going to start by making the main piece of the bow, and we're going to make a slip knot. And then we're going to put our hook in the slip knot. And we're going to chain 22. So you can count the V's, count your chains. And we're going to work in the third chain from the hook. So this one here. And we're going to do a double crochet in that chain, in the side of that chain. So we wrap the yarn around the hook and we push the hook into the side of that chain and we yarn over and pull through. Now we have 3 loops on the hook. Then we yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. And then we yarn over and pull through the last 2 loops. And that's a double crochet. So you can see that we've got that chain 2 and that doesn't count as a stitch. That just gets us to the height of a double crochet. So we're going to do a double crochet in every chain. When we get to the last chain, I'm going to do something different. And I'm going to show you a technique to make sure that we always get straight ends, to make sure that we always get straight edges when we're working in double crochet. Okay, so we've got one chain remaining, so we yarn over, push the hook into the stitch, yarn over and pull through, and then we yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops, and now we're going to leave that, so that's an unfinished double crochet. Then we're going to yarn over, and we're going to go back into the same stitch, yarn over and pull through. Now we have 4 loops on the hook, then we yarn over and pull through those first 2, and that's another unfinished double crochet. Now we have 3 loops on the hook, and then we're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on the hook. Now that still counts as 1 double crochet stitch, and what that does is when we do that at the end of every row, we get straight edges when we're working in double crochet. So you can count your double crochets. There's your chain 2, and we're going to count, and we should have 20. So at the start of every row, we're going to chain 2 and do our double crochet in the first stitch. And then at the end of every row, we're going to do what we've just done in order to get straight edges. So rows 2 to 6, that's 5 rows. We're going to chain 2 and we're going to turn. Now we're looking at the back of the stitches, and we're going to work in that first stitch there and do our double crochet. So we'll do a double crochet in every stitch, and then that last one is different. So we've got 1 stitch remaining, you can see it there. So we yarn over, push the hook into the stitch, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, yarn over into the same stitch, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on the hook. And you can see that we've got nice straight edges. So this is row 1 and row 2. So you can see the back of the stitches and then the front of the stitches. And then if you turn it over, you can see the reverse, the front of the stitches and the back of the stitches. So we just do exactly the same thing until we have 6 rows in total. So I'll just show you row 3. So same as before, double crochet in every stitch. Now we've got 3 rows. We've got the right side of our stitches, then the wrong side, then the right side. So the front, back and front. You can pause the video and I'll meet you back when we've done our 6 rows. So we've done all those 6 rows now. So I'm going to leave a bit of a tail and fasten off. And I'm going to thread the tail onto the needle and weave that into the back of the double crochet stitches. And just try not to pull too tight because it can pull it inwards. And then I'm going to weave back in the opposite direction. And then a third time in the opposite direction. And I'm going to cut the yarn close to the edge of the work. And I'm going to weave that tail in from the slip knot. So now we're going to make the middle piece that goes around our bow. So we're going to make a slip knot. And we're going to chain 14. And we're going to work in the 3rd stitch from the hook. And we're going to make a double crochet in the next 12 stitches. And again, in the last stitch, we're going to do that straight edge technique. So we do our 2 unfinished double crochets. And then we yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. So now we have 12 double crochet stitches. So this is just going to be 1 row. And we're going to leave a tail. And cut the yarn. And then fasten off. And then we're going to weave that tail from the slip knot into the back of the stitches. And then cut the yarn close to the edge of the work. Now we're going to take the middle piece and we're going to squash it together by grabbing that central row and pinching that, and then we're going to pinch the sides towards that. Then we're going to wrap the middle piece around, and we're going to thread the tail onto our needle. And then we're going to line it up and sew these two ends together just by finding loops from the side of that chain 2 and the end of the other row. And then just stretch it out. And then we're going to fasten off by finding a loop nearby on the main piece and pull through, but not all the way, leave a loop, and then go through that loop from behind, pull tight to create a knot, and now we've fastened off. So we're going to leave that tail because we're going to use that later on. So now we're going to make the strap. So you'll need to measure around your dog or cat's neck, or you can do a chain, put the chain around their neck and just add or take away chains depending on how big you need it to be. So it's going to stretch over their head. So I have done 80 chains for my dog, and then I added 2 on. So just make sure that whatever number you chain, you add 2 stitches to get to the height of the double crochet. And then you work in the 3rd stitch from the hook and make a double crochet in every stitch along the chain. And then that last chain is going to use the straight edge technique again. So this is just going to be 1 row. So I'll just show you the first few stitches, and then you can pause the video and meet me back. So I've done all of my double crochet now. I'm just doing the last double crochet with the straight edge technique. Now I'm going to leave a tail for sewing. Just going to sew that end, just enough to sew that short end. Cut the yarn and fasten off. So we're going to weave that tail from the slip knot into the back of our stitches. And in the opposite direction as well, just to make it a bit more secure. And then cut the yarn close to the edge. So now we're going to take our bow and look at the back of it. And we want the right side of the stitches on the strap to be facing outwards. So we line up the ends, and we're going to use that tail from the end of the strap to sew that end on. And we're going to sew it to the edge of that middle piece. So we're going to the side of it, not on top of it. So we just pick up loops from the edge of both pieces. And then we're going to fasten off in the same way as before. So you go through the loop from behind and pull tight to make a knot. And then we're going to thread that other tail that we left onto our needle. And we're going to use that to sew the other edge on. So onto the side of that middle piece again. Just make sure they line up. and then we fasten off in the same way. So now we're going to weave that tail through the middle piece, and then we're going to weave it through the back of the stitches on the strap. And in the opposite direction. And then cut the yarn. And then we repeat that for the other tail. And cut the yarn, and now our bow tie is finished. So now you just have to get your dog or cat and ask them if they mind modelling it for you. Hopefully they don't mind wearing it. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. If you'd like to share a photo with me of your pet wearing their bow tie, I'd love to see it. You can tag me on Instagram at Laura_Wilson01. If you'd like to check out my Etsy shop, I design and sell crochet patterns. I'll leave the link in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.